You know what comes a time in every man's life when we're ready to settle down and make things right, but only for that special one. We trying to make her you, but y'all want to keep playing games with these lanes. So make your next move your best move, cause we the best dudes. Oh yeah, don't settle for less, babe. I can love you better than you can imagine. Take you from the madness. Girl, I don't know why you keep these lanes around. You wildin' out. Don't you settle for less. What up, beauty queen? You know I really wanna invite you to my world and show you my unique persona. We can get together, steam it up like a sauna, take you on the natural high, no marijuana, just a bottle of wine, some ice chill prosecco. You holding on to that lame dude, you should let go. Knew you was gonna be mine from the very get-go. I'm trying to make you white because you special. You got the best clothes, designer fresh clothes, make your own dough, own your home dough. Vehicle was fully paid for, that frame plain though. Selfie queen, you know your angles. Red bottom heels, 5 diamond encrusted bangles. We got the same goals, copping land and counting bankrolls. Creating generational wealth, so our seeds grow. I know your needs though, and you know mine's the same. It's an honor and a privilege to give you my last name. I can love you better than you can imagine. Take me from madness. Girl, I don't know why you keep these lanes around. You wildin' out. Don't you settle for less. Texas out the streets, you know that's mandatory. I'm trying to open your mind, peep the allegory. They say that love don't last, so let's change the story. I send my heart out to you, please come for me. Let's take control of our love. No conforming late night love sessions last until the early morning. Cooking breakfast but naked eggs, bacon and toast. Fried potatoes and onions, girl, I love you the most. When my body be aching, you rub the pain out. Roll up the Dutchess for me while I pour champagne out. I pour my heart and my soul, plus my pain out. You got a real one right shit, so leave them lanes out. Please stop with the games. The mother names missing your time, girl. Why they know we even in your phone? They always think it's hard. You should do something with me. So don't settle, don't settle, don't settle for That's with the facts. Yeah, me. Real contender. Adonis. Singing the hooks and the vibes. Yeah. To all my ladies. Don't settle for less, babe. Don't let a wintertime hangout turn into a summertime bang out. You know what I mean? Each one is gonna be there for season, baby. Don't settle for less. Know your worth, baby. Facts. I'll say Adonis. Don't settle for less, baby. Know your self-worth. Girl, I don't know why you keep these lanes around. Yeah, why the now? Don't you settle for less.
Yeah. You already know what it is. What's good with everybody, man? Yeah. What up? You already know it's your brother and your brother, right? Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stats with the Facts. Jack. Well, y'all know we here Thursday night, ladies' night. It's a beautiful thing. You understand me, man? What's good with everybody? How you doing? out there today? How was y'all's day today, man? We all woke up earlier today. You understand me? The Most High breathed the breath of life into us one more again, and it's a beautiful thing, man. You hear me? What's good with everybody, man? How y'all doing out there tonight? This beautiful evening. You know it's ladies' night over here and how we do it, man. You know what I'm saying? I like to have the beautiful ladies come up, chop it up about the beautiful things they doing, or if we just having the topic of discussion. You know what I'm saying? I've wanted to end the year off doing some interviews because, we're about to get the interviews back popping again. 2024 is going to be a beautiful situation. You dig? A lot more interviews. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be moving into the new studio here in the next couple months, and it's going to be a beautiful thing, man. We're going to have all the equipment set up, the soundboard, backdrops, all of that is going to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying? We grinding. You know what I'm saying? We're going to end 2023 out on a positive note. You dig? And addressing real issues, having real conversations, and at the end of all of that, real solutions. Because shout out to my brother King Els. We SBC over here. We solution-based content. So, you know what I'm saying? We like to have solutions. We like to come up with real-time, real applicable solutions that we can actually put into play. You know what I'm saying? In 2024, man, listen here, man. You know what I mean? We're going to be focusing on manhood and masculinity. You understand me, man? Our young brothers out here, they need our guidance and our leadership. Hi, King, what's good with you, brother? Where you been? Why, where you been? I'm not pushing the agenda, Hi, King. Trump is bought out. Look who funded his last campaign when he was in presidency last time and who's still funding him to this day. Right? I don't give a damn who goes into the White House. I don't care who gets in. It don't matter. Whoever get in the White House, they're going to not care about none of us. Yeah, I got proof. You can go Google it. Google Sheldon Adelson. Look at his connections he got with Elon Musk, with Jeff Bezos. Look at the people who he do business with. You know? He ain't exempt. Just like Joe Biden ain't exempt. Joe Biden do business with a lot of the same people. You know? Do your due diligence, Hakeem, bro. You a smart brother. Do your due diligence, man. You know? But tonight's show, man, we're going to be talking about something real serious. That is a real serious issue, something that don't really get discussed, right? And that's the obesity issue, not only amongst children, but specifically and especially amongst children, but amongst all of us as well, right? You know what I mean? And I got my peoples, you know what I'm saying, CAMARA Chanel, or my fault, CAMARA Chanel coming up, you know what I'm saying? She's an RN and she's been working in the health medical field for quite some time. And, she's been blessed with some opportunities to help out, you know what I'm saying, and contribute to somehow addressing this obesity issue, specifically and especially amongst our young people. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a beautiful thing. This is one of the reasons why I created this show, is to have people like her come on and talk about the beautiful things they're doing. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, it's my pleasure to do that. We're going to continue to do that in 2024. Listen, right? We're going to sit up here and focus on, like I say, man, SBC, man, solution-based content, you know what I'm saying, and, setting up codes of conduct, you know what I'm talking about, and then, really engaging and interacting with each other, man, and so we can, you know what I mean, as far as from a logistics standpoint, actually start really making some things happen in real time instead of just being on these computer waves, airwaves, talking, right? Shout out to my brother King Els, you know what I'm talking about? We got a lot of things in the works, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother Uncle Diggity, you know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing, man, you know? So yeah, man. Let me just say this. You know what I mean? And I noticed this just since I've been home. This is something that I've noticed. I noticed there's a lot of portly young people, so to speak. Let's just say that. And I really got a good glimpse of this when I worked at Family Dollar when I was in a halfway house back in 2016. And I noticed that a lot of kids coming in the store, you know what I'm saying, were very portly. But what I also noticed is that they got these stores like just like trap houses all through the hood, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Family Dollars, Dollar Generals, and all this stuff through the hood and stuff. I was like, wow, I've never seen it like this before. You know what I'm saying? The Family Dollars was always in like certain areas and stuff. Now they just like everywhere, you know. And I see stuff like that, and I see how, you know, stuff like that contributes to it. You know what I mean? And that contributes into other things, a topic of discussion like food deserts and all of that. That's still the topic for another day, but I'm pretty sure all of this stuff leads and has a contributing factor role playing into contributing to the obesity in the community, right? I keep telling y'all about the Ouroboros agenda, man. How we being made to consume ourselves in every way too. So, you know, so it's gonna be a beautiful situation, man. We're gonna have CAMARA come up, spit her game, talk her ish, you feel me? And we're gonna chop it up. It's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? You know, interacting and engaging with people, you know what I'm saying? And then having meaningful conversation, because like I say, out of meaningful conversation, you know, man, you know, that's when real things can happen from out of that. You know what I'm talking about? So that's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share on your social engineering. You know what I'm saying? Last night's show, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody tapping in. Appreciate the emails I got. You know what I mean? As far as our brother Kanye, like I say, man, my stance on Kanye ain't gonna change. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, I don't hate the brother, but at the same time, you know what I mean? I don't have no sympathy for him. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm pretty sure he knows that himself. So, you know, you know, he know what he did and he know what he signed up for. So that's his cross he got to carry, man. You know, but when the brother's right, the brother's right. You know what I'm saying? Every time he have one, what we've been told or being made to believe is rants, he don't be spitting nothing but straight facts and truth. It's scatterbrained and, you know, clustered it might be. If you have the ears to hear, you can decipher through it, you can understand what the man's saying, right? And he be saying a whole lot. So, you know, shout out to Kanye, man, you know, but, you know, he got to deal with that, man. You feel me? Believe that. You feel me? Make no mistake. You hear me? You get out, or should I say you get back what you put out. You feel me? Y'all make sure y'all take heed to that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you doing things with pure intentions, man. And not trying to cut no corners. Because when you make moves like that, people who you love might get caught in the crossfire, man. You did, whether intensely or unintentionally, it's your fault. All right? Let's think about what I just said, man. You know, shout out to Yeezy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, though, man, tonight, man, I'm kind of excited. I ain't gonna lie, man, because I like having people come on the show and chop it up about real stuff, real issues, real topics. You know what I mean? I come across people all the time, you know what I'm saying? And CAMARA is no different. You know what I mean? And, I came across CAMARA in a Facebook group that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? I see, you know, niggas be clowning and shit, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? She actually was speaking on a certain topic. I don't even remember what it was, I seen her saying something about she was involved with something with childhood abuse. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Come on, Sean, talk about that lady tonight, man, because that's a beautiful subject, something that I've noticed myself, and I know it's a big thing. So, you know, like I say, man, you know, like I joke and clown and all of that stuff, yeah, but at the end of the day, we talk about real issues over here. You need real issues. You know what I'm talking about? Tap in, walk with us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have fun, but we also going to talk about what's real. You did? Especially when it comes to the youngins, when it comes to the young brothers and sisters, because we got to make sure we're preparing them, you know what I'm saying, for the future, making sure they can know as much about their health concerning their bodies, you know what I'm saying, nutrition, you know what I'm talking about, eating, you know what I'm saying, the best food we can, because, you know, just about everything we eat is tampered with, modified in some type of way. So, you know what I'm saying, we got to make sure we educate and inform our young ones so, you know, they can do it to theirs and, you know, maybe put a little dent into this obesity thing that's going on, which, like I say, a lot of factors play into these things amongst us all, which is obesity. So, you know what I mean? We're going to get to it, have a conversation, man. Smash that like button, tap in, walk with us. I mean, me too, High King, bro. You know, when it come down to it, but I just gotta always keep it 1,000 with y'all and let y'all know. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we speaking from a place of retrospect, yes, on the surface it would make sense to go with Trump, but when you know scratch that surface level off and see that these people are all bought and paid for by the same people, you know, snakes and ladders, man, smoke and mirrors. The illusion of choice, right? Trump and old Elon is good boys, man. Trump sitting up there purping, talking about something like he get back in there like, So I ain't trying to discourage nobody, and I don't want nobody to let my opinion have dominion over your decision, but I challenge you to do your due diligence. See, first you follow the money, right? Well, let me scratch that, because I tell y'all to follow the money. And y'all should, because it'll take you some places where you don't even think you'd be going. But nowadays, we got to follow the bloodline. And when it comes to Trump, man, you know, that's another topic for another day. But I'm about to bring my girl, CAMARA, up. I'm going to chop it up, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. This, you know what I'm saying? She's doing beautiful things in the field she works in. You know what I'm saying? She comes across a lot of things. And over her years in the field, you know, she sit up there and realize where, you know, outside of just working, you know what I'm saying, where her expertise is needed in other areas outside of what she's just getting paid to do. So that in itself right there, you know what I'm saying, deserves to be you know, talked about and you know, championed, you feel me? Because I think it's a very beautiful thing for real, and I think it's a very serious topic and issue, you know what I'm saying? And when it comes to our health overall, especially going into the times that we going in now, I think it's very important that we inform ourselves on how to holistically heal ourselves. You feel me? And that's holistically with an H, right? You know what I'm talking about? CAMARA, can you hear me? All right, unmute your microphone.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can all hear you, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to get that because I keep saying CAMARA.
Yes.
CAMARA.
Yes.
So, yeah, y'all, this is CAMARA right here. XL Pro, what happened, man? Right? hit that like button, man. Do it like my man XL Pro always tell y'all to do when he come up in here, man. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, man. I'm in a group on Facebook in my city called Unwanted Opinions, right? Shout out to the Unwanted Opinion homies, man. I told them they could come on the show whenever they want to, man. Listen, right? And, you know, it's just like any other, you know, niggas being there clowning, whatever. But the type of guy I am, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to detail, you know what I'm talking about? And like I just told y'all earlier, you know what I'm saying? It was something in the group and she spoke on what she's doing. And I was like, what's going on with that? That's something we can talk about. That's important. You know what I'm talking about? So without further ado, I'm going to fall back. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let CAMARA introduce herself. You know what I'm saying? Uncle Diggity, what's good, man? I'm going to let CAMARA introduce herself. You know what I'm saying? She going to give us a little spiel about, you know, her little background. Yeah, like I said, you ain't got to go into the deep, dark, you know what I'm saying, your past and all that, you know what I mean? But just give us a brief overview of who is, where you come from, how you get into what you're doing, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. Why you have to turn your camera off?
No, see, this let me tell you why, and let me tell y'all why I do that, right? I turn the camera off while y'all talking so the crowd can focus on y'all, because it's not about me. The show is about you.
All right. My name is CAMARA. Scott actually is my last name. I'm a registered nurse here in Columbus. I've been a registered nurse here in Columbus about 10 years now. Born and raised in Columbus, graduated Mifflin High School and of Columbus State College of Nursing. I also went to OU. Shout out to my Bobcats. I previously worked in general pediatrics. That's like my background. I also did some work in Columbus City schools through my previous employer, and now I work in public health. And so that's kind of the roundabout way that I got here to talk to Virgil, because unfortunately, Ohio has one of the higher obesity rates, and our governor wants to do something about it. And because I work in public health, I offered to be a part of that initiative to see if we can help do something about it. And I always think that it's important for people of color to be represented on those kinds of task forces, and to have our voices heard. So yeah, so happy to be here to talk to everybody. Hopefully, you know, you can take something valuable from it. So yeah, thanks, Virgil.
Oh, you already know. It's nothing, man. Just like I said, this is a very important issue, because just since I've been home, I've noticed that this is an issue specifically in our city, right? You know, and I'm not trying to be fun, but, you know, I'm real raw and uncut. I see a lot of little fat kids running around. You hear me? And
I think, well, here's the thing. To start out with some statistics, the United States in general has about a 42% obesity rate. I think we're one of the higher in the world, and that's for a number of reasons, mainly because of the way our food is grown and packaged and things like that. America, we have a lot of processed food, and most, if not all of it, is pretty unhealthy for us. But Ohio particularly ranks about 14th in the country. And our obesity rate is significantly higher than the national average. We're almost at 50%. I think we're around 47% or so. So yeah, so it is a big deal, and it is on the rise. I think because of COVID, a lot of that kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit, and now the conversation is starting to get hot again, because now here we are, you know, kind of like seeing what the effects of COVID did to us. And one of the things is raise those obesity rates. So here we are.
Oh, what are some of the things outside of the whole thing with COVID? But because this was a problem clearly before COVID,
right?
I'm pretty sure it increased during COVID, but it was a problem before COVID. What are some of the things that contribute to, specifically amongst the youth, that's contribute to this increased rate of obesity?
So I think one of the main things that I've seen in practice and just, you know, with the little bit of research I've done. I can't say that I've done a ton, but in practice, what I saw is really the kids saying that they either spend a lot of time in the house, so being sedentary, and being sedentary means that you don't move your body a lot, you're sitting down a lot, you're looking at maybe a TV screen a lot, things like that, so not a lot of physical activity. And that was for a number of reasons. One of the major reasons is our weather. We don't get a lot of sunny days here in Ohio. So that's one of the reasons why kids don't go outside, which is something that they can control, right? A lot of them said that their neighborhood, so maybe they live in a place that doesn't have sidewalks or doesn't have green areas where they can play. So that is a contributing factor. Again, something that they can't control. But some things that they can control are sitting in front of a TV screen or some kind of electronic device, whether it be a phone, an iPad, a video game, things like that. Food deserts are a big deal. And that I think exacerbated during COVID because a lot of places went out of business as well. And then we had that supply chain issue where a lot of things just weren't available. Then we've got this inflation issue where all these prices are going up. So that's kind of a multi-factored issue there. And when we talk about food deserts, if people don't know what that means, it means that you live in a general area where there is no major grocery store that has healthy food options for you. So maybe you have a corner store, or you have a Family Dollar or something like that, but maybe you don't have a Kroger or an Aldi or a Save-A-Lot or something like that where you can actually go and buy a substantial amount of groceries that have lots of different options for you. So you're not just limited to those processed foods that have long shelf lives. That is an issue. So again, it's multifactored, but there are definitely some things that we can do to try to combat that. Transportation is another big one, especially in areas that have food deserts. If the families don't have transportation, if you have to ride a bus or utilize some public transportation in some kind of way, or even an Uber, it's like, how much can you really carry with you when you're in those kind of situations? So again, there's a lot of different things historically that have contributed to that. And if you understand, food deserts and lack of transportation and people who live in poverty and things like that, who do those people affect more disproportionately? Usually it's Black and brown people. So then there's that.
Right. Now, beautiful. Thank you. That was a very thorough answer. All right. Mm-hmm. And I'll put this up on the screen just to, give y'all a quick, image. It's a big thing in my city, man. You know what I mean? Well, don't get me wrong, we got a lot of grocery stores, but just like she said, now think about all the factors she said that lead in, just the domino effect of the food desert situation. You know what I'm saying? Now think about this. And think about what I've been telling y'all about my city, man, right? Transportation, right? Food deserts, grocery stores not being in the right vicinity to everybody to get them. Then there's a situation where people not having transportation, so they have to use public transportation. The whole process of, like she just said, how to carry lots of groceries it's just not the word I want y'all to pay attention and think of. And what's the word I've been telling y'all to look out for? Sustainable. It's not sustainable. So what's the solution? We live in Columbus, Ohio, the smartest city in the country, right? Now think about this, right? Everything she just said. You understand what I'm saying? And we got Google coming here. Tesla's here. You hear me? We got autonomous vehicles. Experimented with it in our public transportation, right? Food deserts. Right? Man, I just be one, and this is important. Why it's important to talk about this, because this is a direct result of all of this stuff y'all be hearing me talking about. Right? So,
and you know what, Virgil? Even those big corporations here kind of does create somewhat of a public health concern because like in the area that I live in, for instance, I live in close vicinity to the Pataskala area where that new Intel plant is going.
right.
From a public health standpoint, though, the people who are lower income in those areas may have an issue because now the cost of living in those areas is going to start to go up. Because if you are going to bring a plant in there and you're promising jobs that are six figures, even for people that maybe are not formally educated, it's not just going to be local people who are going to be going after those jobs. Those jobs are competitively going to go to other people as well. People are going to start coming into the area looking for those jobs. So what happens? The housing market changes in those areas. The value of the houses goes up now because now we are expecting for people in that area to make more money. Then they're building these apartment complexes, and guess what? The rent is $2,000 because they're luxury apartments and they have heated pools and they have all these amenities, because they're expecting the people in this area to be making close to six figures, if not over. So now what's going to happen to the people who don't make six figures, who don't, have the resources to stay in the area? They're going to be pushed out further and further. So this could create some public health concerns in terms of housing, in terms of cost of living, in terms of food, insecurity, and all that stuff. And so, yes, it's a great thing. It's going to bring money to the city, but it's also we have to think about who it all affects. Like you were saying earlier, it's all a trickle down effect. And so, as a community, we really have to be hyper vigilant about that and make sure that we're supporting one another because, it's all connected in one way or another.
Now, check this is before we move on. Now, they're building this place out in Licking County, which is east of where we're at in Intel Place. And listen, they are even, what I'm saying, out there already offering people money for their land and stuff.
For their houses. Right. And so where are they going? And so that, yeah.
Now think about when I talk to you. No. Now think about when I talk to y'all about urban growth boundaries, the Wildlands Project. Think about when I talk to y'all about UN Agenda 2030, stack 'em, pack 'em housing, mega structures, mega cities. Y'all better pay attention to this stuff, man. You know what I mean? Intel, Google, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla. I'm just saying. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on. And then when we're talking about this whole obesity issue, this all is connected to it as well, right?
Right. When people don't have money to invest in their diet, they tend to buy things that are easier to make that last longer times, that are bulkier, that make you fuller. And typically those are more unhealthy options, right? I know even when I was a kid, my mom, made those stretch meals. So there was always like meat and potatoes or spaghetti or things like that, that were heavy in carbs. Because you're not going to go out and spend the money on the fresh fruits and vegetables if they're just going to be gone in a couple of days. You need things that are going to stretch. Even with food stamps, you only get loaded up once a month, right? So once it's gone, right? So those are all things that contribute to the obesity issue, which again, disproportionately affect Black and brown people because we are more marginalized and typically are the people who live below the poverty line.
Right. Now think about the overabundance of these places where we get the worst types of food, right? The processed, packaged, You understand what I'm saying? That's why I put this on the screen. And one can't help, CAMARA, but to think that this is being done by strategic design. Now, you working in the field when it comes to the obesity issue, right? Now, not to make this a racial thing, but we have to consider this because I know it's different because, you know, demographics and stuff like that.
Right.
But when you working in a field, do you notice the obesity issue? Is it kind of unilateral, or are certain groups more affected by it than others?
So it depends on where you're at geographically, honestly.
Right.
In my experience, I found that it was, like I said, more Black and brown. So not just Black kids or African American kids, but then also our Hispanic counterparts as well. The area that I worked in had more patients that were Medicaid funded patients, and those patients are typically Black and brown patients. So in my own experience, I can't say that it was skewed one way or the other, because the demographic of kids that I typically worked with were mainly Black and brown kids. But the numbers do skew that way, that they disproportionately affect Black and brown kids. And like I said, it's because of that whole poverty issue, access to food, access to healthcare, all of those things, not to mention our diet. So Hispanic and Black families, we tend to have a diet that's heavier on the carb side, heavier on the butter side, and heavier on the salt side, right? Sugar as well. We love our desserts and things like that. So in African American and Hispanic Latino households, we tend to see obesity at a higher rate. And that also leads to more diabetes, whether it be type 1 or type 2, especially type 2, which is the one that you develop later on in life, cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, and things like that. So to answer the question, yes. And, there's other reasons why, but those are the main things.
And I just want to say, I like how you give very thorough responses. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I mean, I feel like, it's kind of an each one teach one situation. I feel like we know what we know, you know what I mean? And when you know better, you do better. And so I don't want anybody to ever leave a conversation that I'm having with them about their healthcare and not feel like they got what they needed out of it. So if there's anybody watching and you have any questions, please find me on social media and ask me a question. And we'll get into some solutions a little bit here in a minute too. But yeah, hop in the chat or, DM me and let me know your thoughts, or if you have any questions, and I'm happy to dive deeper.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing, man. And I'm enjoying this conversation because this is very, very important. Because I just like to point out to people how when you're chopping it up about real stuff, you see how the conversation can just veer off into other things. And the reason why that is because, like CAMARA said so briefly earlier, that some of y'all probably didn't catch, like I always tell y'all, everything's connected, literally everything, right? So don't get it twisted, man. Now, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the health issue with the concerning obesity, Columbus, we rank number 14.
It's Ohio in general.
Oh, my fault, not Columbus, but Ohio.
Yeah.
Right? Now, federally, what is being done? Because I know that if it's, I know the government's probably looking at this. So what's being done on the federal side politically, saying if you could inform us to your best of your ability and knowledge, that what they're doing as far as addressing this issue.
So on the federal, nationally, I'm not there yet to know what's being done. Like I said, this whole conversation is something new that has been talked about from a public health standpoint in the state over the last 2 weeks. Maybe longer than that. It could have been maybe 3 weeks or so. So this is all new. I haven't done my research to know what's going on. I know here in Ohio, though, in terms of childhood obesity, we have a lot of programs on the state level. WIC being one of them. That's probably one of the most well-known ones that try to help combat that. And they are funding these programs, trying to put more funding in the programs, and more funding means that it can reach more people. So if they can get more funding for the programs, then they'll be able to open it up more to people of like make it so more people are eligible, if that makes sense. And then there's a lot of initiatives here for like schools to get involved in having community gardens and things like that, so that their students have access to those foods. There's some there's a program called Farm to ECE, which would be Farm to Early Education. And that's getting these fresh fruits and vegetables from local growers into childcare centers and early education centers and things like that. Of course, we hear about school lunches and that improvement all over the place. Michelle Obama really started that initiative with the Obama administration. Let me see. There's also different programs that like physicians can get involved in to help educate parents. I know there's some programs where called Cooking Matters, for instance, that is run on the state level, and it's like a tutorial for parents to learn how to have healthier options for cooking at home and things like that. So I kind of wish it was expanded more on a cultural level, because I feel like the audience is more tapered to just like a general American audience, and it's not tailored necessarily to different cultures, because everybody cooks differently in their cultures. But it's a start, right? And so I know more about what's going on the state and local level. Nationally, I'm not really sure yet.
I like that. See that even that was the thorough answer, and I appreciate the honesty too. But and the reason why I asked that, because Ohio being the 14th state, what I'm saying, ranking in number 14 out of 50, man, that's kind of high. And I would like to think that the federal government would be maybe kind of concerned about things like that, but clearly, to your knowledge and mine as well, they're not.
And I'm not saying that there's not a national thing going on. I'm sure there is, and I'm sure I'll learn more about it once we really gear up and start having some meetings and stuff. We haven't even had our first meeting on the state level. So I'll have to come back and let you guys know, kind of what's going on. And
that's very concerning. I'm going to, I apologize for interrupting, but this is very concerning, because I know it's going to affect this high number being ranked 14. I'm pretty sure over all the season, I'm pretty sure a great majority of that is the youth.
Yeah, 1 in 5 kids is obese in in the United States. So yeah, that is a big deal. And
serious situation, man.
Yeah, and it also leads to poor sleep habits and sleep apnea. And when you don't sleep well, you don't perform well in school. So you just don't have better outcomes. I mean, I could just kind of go on and on about it. There's so many reasons why we need to keep our kids' weight in check. And there's no reason why we need to put our kids at a disadvantage of poor health outcomes when they get older, when it's something that they could have possibly had control over in childhood. And that's not fair to them, right? Just like, I mean, there are people who are really adamant about like not smoking around their children and stuff. Like back in the day, everybody smoked everywhere and we didn't know better. But once we knew better, we stopped doing it, right? Now, it's you can't smoke indoors anywhere. You know, why is that? Because we know that we have poor health outcomes, and it's not fair to people who don't have a choice in the matter to be subjected to that, right? I feel the same way about our children. When you know better, you do better. And we can't always use our circumstances as an excuse to not do better. So if you need something, if you need help, if you need resources, let's try to figure out how we can get those. Figure out what you can do to make your food stretch. Figure out how to, if you have foods with that have long shelf lives, don't add a whole bunch of seasonings and butter and sugar and stuff to something that's already has a lot of salt in it, because it is preserved. It's in a jar, it's in a box. Those things already have high sugar and salt contents. So again, just educate yourself on that. Like, we need to give our kids the best head start that we can, because when they get older, there are some things that they can't control that could lead to poor health outcomes. So we need to teach them how to give themselves the best head start. And as parents, we're their first teachers at everything in life. Nutrition is no different. Sorry, I kind of went on a rant about that, but
nah, that's all good, man, because it's beautiful, man. You know, this is a serious situation, so it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I ain't tripping at all, man. You know, very thorough answer. You know what I'm talking about? And I appreciate it.
So what can we do, right? Like, I think I don't want to just talk at the problem. I want to make sure that before we get off the call, like, I give some helpful pointers. Is that fair?
Nah, that's exactly like I say. We SBC over here, so that kind of segues into the question I was about to ask you, because you know, you kind of read my mind a little bit on that one. I was about to ask you, so I know y'all haven't had y'all's first, but as far as like from your experience working in the field, what are some of the issues you see as far as like in the actual medical field, what's going on versus what should be going on as far as being a better outcome for the kid? Because I know, I would imagine working in the field you done seen some, you know, that you done seen this problem grow over the years with the kids just getting fatter and fatter and fatter.
So
you know what I mean?
I think the number one is we need to learn how to use the healthcare system. And
talk about it.
So using the healthcare system properly is a big deal. If you have health insurance, use it to the best of your ability. Somebody's paying for it somewhere, even if it's not directly coming out of your pocket, and that affects the kind of care that you receive and where you receive it. And so I need for people to understand that, especially people who do receive like Medicaid or maybe some other kind of like government issued insurance where they're not having a premium or a copay coming out of their pocket, but it still matters who is paying for it and how they're paying for it based on the kind of care that you receive and where you receive it at. Everybody doesn't accept Medicaid, especially specialists like doctors who their specialty is like one organ or one body system, like somebody who's just a heart doctor or a lung doctor or something like that. People who have Medicaid and things like that, it's harder to get into those places because the reimbursement rates aren't as high as they are for someone who has private insurance. So when you are obese or you have high blood pressure or things like that, and you need to go see a specialist and you don't have your own health insurance, you might be waiting a little bit longer to see those specialists. And so being healthier is in your best interest for that reason, if that makes sense. And I could elaborate that on a little bit more. And that's not saying that you don't receive good care. It just means that everybody doesn't accept your insurance. So in order to see a doctor for whatever ailment that you're looking at, you could be waiting longer, which means you may be sicker by the time you get there. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. Continue.
Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we tend, and I say we as a community, tend to go to the doctor when we're sick. We don't go to the doctor when we're healthy. We go when we're sick. And I guess it kind of makes sense, However, we love our cars, right? And we take our cars in to get tune-ups, and we take them in to get oil changes and all these things to make sure that they're running properly on a regular basis. We need to do that for our bodies. Our bodies need checkups. Our bodies need tune-ups sometimes. Sometimes you might need a little help with something that you're experiencing in order to get your body back in balance. You won't know that if you don't go to the doctor. So you need a primary care physician. A primary care physician is your first stop shop. It's your doctor bestie. It's the person who, that was a rude comment, but it's the doctor who is going to get to know you as a person, kind of mind, body, and spirit, get to know what you do for a living and what your habits are and things like that, so they can help tailor your healthcare experience to what it is that you need. And then they're going to know like your baseline. They're going to know like what your blood pressure normally is, what your heart rate normally is, and things like that. They're going to run tests on you so that they know where your body kind of lives, right? And so once a year, when you go back there and you get your checkup, if those numbers start to be off a little bit, then there might be something that you can do to prevent it to getting any further, so that maybe you don't have to have medication or have surgery or, things like that. They catch those things earlier. At least that's the idea of you going on a regular basis, getting that blood work. And this is the same for your kids. Your kids are going to go once a year. After when they're babies, they go a lot more, but it's the same concept. They go and get that blood work done. They get their eyes checked. They get their ears checked, and your doctor gets to know them so that if something happens and they come back, they can try to pinpoint what's wrong. And then, of course, if you have something going on that isn't an emergency, then you call that doctor, you go in for an appointment and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and they help you work that out. Now, going to urgent care or the emergency room should be after you've already contacted your primary care physician to let them know that something is off with you, so that they can direct your care, and you won't be spending as much money in an urgent care or an ER, racking up those bills or having to pay those high copays. If you have a primary care physician, then you go there first. A lot of them have, most of them, if not all of them, have after hours, like answering services, that where a physician or a nurse will call you back and give you some advice and direct your care to where you need to go. In addition to that, some insurance companies use that as an incentive for you to go get emergency room care. Did you talk to your primary care physician first? If you didn't, sometimes they'll charge you extra money, or not extra money, but sometimes they'll give you a discount if they know that you talked to your primary care physician and you went to the ER anyway because they told you to. Maybe your copay was $300 and they'll waive that copay at the ER if they know that your primary care physician directed your care. So starting there is huge. Learn how to use the healthcare system. Get you a primary care doctor. Get your kids a primary care doctor and see that person every year so they can get to know you, get to know your body. And then when you have issues going on later, you're not sitting at the ER for 6 hours or something like that waiting to be seen because you've talked to your primary care doctor and they've told you what to do, which may not even include going to the ER or urgent care. In terms of like healthy eating and healthy living and healthy weight, you just have to be smart and use your resources. If you, like I was saying earlier, if you are a family who has to buy their food once a month, then be strategic about some of the things that you buy. If you have to use those stretch meals, that's cool. But how do you incorporate fruit and veggies? Is it something that you can make and freeze? Can you go maybe to a food pantry or something like that and supplement some of those things that you need to save you a little bit of money on the back end? So then maybe you can get some fresh food options. Is there a community garden in your area? Is there a church or another local organization that provides these things in your area? You would be surprised at how much we do have in our community in terms of resources. And then when you do cook your food, think about what you're putting in it. Are you using a lot of salt? Are you using a lot of fattening products? Are you frying a lot of things? Or is there anything that you can bake instead of frying? Can you put it in the air fryer? So how you're cooking things, what you're using to cook with. Instead of maybe a vegetable oil, can you use an olive oil? Again, these are all things that cost money sometimes, but things that you can do in the whole, like, simple things that you can do that isn't a medical intervention in order to lose weight. You can also, replace chips with maybe some carrot sticks or something, instead of kind of out of sight, out of mind, especially for kids. If it's not in the house, they're not going to eat it. So not bringing that stuff in the house so much. And then when you do, limiting the times that your kids can have it. Another big one is not eating after 8 p.m., not eating late at night, not having sugary drinks late at night. It affects your sleep. It can affect your dreams. And of course, when you're sleeping, you're not, actively burning those calories. And so those things are just sitting in your body all night. Being physically active obviously is a big one. Kids need 60 minutes of physical activity a day. And so sending them outside and letting them use their imagination. And parents, I know sometimes we don't always want to do it, but sometimes we got to get out there with them. And it's okay, because you need 60 minutes of physical activity a day too. So get out there, go for a family walk, go for a nature walk, make it fun, do something that you like to do. It doesn't always have to be, in the gym or doing some kind of formal exercise, just moving your body, getting some cardio in. So those are all ideas. I feel like I could go on and on about it, but just be smart. Don't sit around, make a TV time, or when you're normally sitting around at home, some family time. If the weather's bad, have a 5-minute dance party a few times a day. Just get your body moving, get the kids moving. Watch what you're eating. Try not to go the simple route and eat fast food all the time. And when you do, try to drink more water and not use those sugary pop drinks. 100% juices, things like that. Just make good choices, get out there, get active, and go to the doctor. That's really my biggest advice there.
That's some pretty solid advice, you know what I'm saying? And to our homie Peter Peterson, who said that comment, thank you, goodbye. You did. We don't deal with that over here at Real Talk. I'll do you a favor, get you up through. How about that?
That was funny.
Everybody's a critic. Everybody's a critic, right? Yeah, man. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page, y'all, man. I got my girl CAMARA in the building, man. It's a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? We chopping it up about this real-ish. You understand what I'm saying, man? Obesity in the community, right? Now, and when it comes to situations like this, we get held up on lines of racism and stuff like that. But this is something that's pretty much spread amongst everybody. You know what I'm saying? And now the question I got for you is, when it comes to the medication side, right? Because I'm pretty sure when this influx of obesity, I'm pretty sure it's bringing on health issues as well, right? So what are some of the most common health issues you see specifically amongst the children as a result of this obesity as being an increase in our society?
So the two biggest ones that affect kids when they are overweight is asthma and type 2 diabetes. So asthma, obviously, respiratory issues, because the heavier you are, the harder your lungs have to work in order to get the air moving, because they can't expand as easily. And then type 2 diabetes, obviously, is a big one. And again, those two things can be resolved by weight loss, and type 2 diabetes is absolutely preventable in kids and adults. So yeah, those are the two biggest ones, and they neither of them always require medicine, but a lot of them do, and they can lead to poor health outcomes in adulthood as well.
That's a fact, man, because and this is the ill thing about diseases like diabetes, because they're very, very curable, right? To the point where you don't need no medication. I was in prison and incarcerated for a number of years, and I personally witnessed 4 people heal themselves, or should I say cure themselves.
Mm-hmm. Diabetes type 2. Now, if you're born with it, then no, it's not curable, because you were born with it, and your body has a reason why it cannot, either produce insulin or whatever. But type 2 diabetes it's reversible with diet and exercise. Absolutely. And I've seen it in turn around in kids. I've seen it turn around in adults. Absolutely. It's one of those things.
I watched it personally myself when I was in the joint, man. I've seen dudes is a simple change in diet with exercise, and you will literally get rid of the diabetes.
And it's not as like the lifestyle changes. I think people think like, man, that means I'm gonna be eating like
I gotta eat Jenny Craig type food.
Yeah, like bland stuff. And that's not what that means. You can still eat the foods that you enjoy. You just need to control your portions. And it takes about, I heard this years ago too, it takes about 20 minutes for your body to know that it's full. So if you're putting in, 2 pounds of pasta in those 20 minutes, then that's what your body is going to consume, and that is what it's going to metabolize. But if you're taking your time, you're enjoying your food, and you're not putting in a ton of carbs, a ton of sugar, a ton of salt, things like that all at once, then your body is going to use what it has on hand. You don't need to fill it. You don't need to eat until you're overly full. You don't need to eat until your stomach hurts. You just need to eat until you're satisfied. And that is, the American way, is to just be stuffed, right? But that's not what your body needs. Your body doesn't even need meat for every meal of the day. Your body doesn't need carbs for every meal of the day. There's a certain amount that you need to put in your body. You don't have to overdo it. You can control those portions, but you can still eat Christmas dinner. You can still eat pie. You can still eat candy, right? You just don't need to do it all day, every day. That's really the takeaway. Everything in moderation. You can get through it. It'll be okay.
That's a fact. It definitely will be okay. It's mind over matter. Listen, and the stuff that they putting in this food, man.
You don't know. You just don't know what's in it anymore. And so the more natural things that you can eat, the better, because you just really don't know what's in it. And like I said, most of the time, if it's on a shelf, it's got a lot of salt, it's got a lot of sugar, and it's got a lot of fat in it. So just be careful and just watch it and be mindful. Be mindful about what you're putting in your body if you can help it.
That's a fact now, right? Yeah, so it's a lot of things that lead into the obesity, right? Now, one of the major things is the types of food we eating, right? Now, I'm pretty sure as of recent too, the fact that we have genetically modified food in our food supply, I know that plays a major factor into obesity numbers rising. And I just would like to ask you, CAMARA, to the best of your knowledge, what from especially working in the field, has there any studies been done, or is there anything that's been done on the like any of the medical research organizations to come up with any type of numbers that correlate the rise in obesity with the advent or of the genetically modified food being put in the food supply?
That would be something that I would have to look into specifically. Not anything that I know of off the top of my head or that I've encountered. I will have to look into that and get you some numbers because that's a good question. I don't know. The only thing that I've ever kind of looked into myself are like artificial sweeteners and the fact that that does contribute to actually because your body doesn't know what to do with that chemical, with the aspartame, and so it just stores it in your fat. It doesn't actually metabolize it or do anything with it. So natural sugar is actually better for you because at least your body can use it in some kind of way. So you have to be careful with that. So even like diet sodas or artificial sweeteners like an Equate or Splenda and things like that, if it has aspartame in it, then that's not good for you. There's another one too that I can't, another artificial sweetener that I can't remember the name of right now. But yeah, so those. But in terms of like actually GMO foods, I don't know the answer to that. But
Right.
that's a good question though. I'll have to look into it and see if I can get you some numbers about it.
Right, something to look at because I'm like I say, this is becoming an issue.
Oh yeah.
And I know that how the government, I know they keep tabs on stuff like this for specific reasons.
And there's so many conspiracy theories about it and stuff that I'm sure somebody somewhere has researched it. I just haven't, so I don't have like a true answer for you.
Yeah, but and this is the thing I want to say about that. And this is why I asked that question because I just want to know if there was any official, and I'm pretty sure there's how. I just want to know if she was aware of any. But we don't need to see any tests. We don't need to see any numbers. We don't need to see any group studies, test studies. We don't need to see any of that stuff. We can look at our observable reality, and we can connect the dots. All right. Just like she said earlier, man, you go through this box stuff and canned stuff all in your house, pre-packaged. All right, nothing fresh, especially concerning our produce. All right, so I just want y'all to think about that. It's all good, like I say, statistics and data when it suits is good, but when it comes to certain things, we really don't need that. We don't need to see any test studies to know that there's a correlation and connection between obesity and genetically modified food. Although I'm pretty sure there's a lot of research done into it.
Yeah, I would have to look it up.
I want to know that specific because you know what I'm saying. I noticed, you know what I'm saying, because when I was in the joint, they had this whole initiative with the commissary that they call the Heart Healthy Initiative. And it was funny because it was supposed to be pushing more healthier products, but they're all processed. Literally, we don't get no fresh nothing in the joint on the commissary. Nothing fresh.
Right.
It's all processed. All of it, even the so-called heart healthy stuff. All right. So, watch what you eat, man. You are what you eat. You hear me? Keep that in mind, man. Now, working in this field for the past years that you have been, and now you have the point to where you've been given this opportunity to be involved with this prestigious study that's going on. You know what I'm talking about? Being in this field, what's the most rewarding thing for you? You know what I'm saying? That keeps you intrigued and just keep you wanting to, you know what I mean, just keep going further and staying in the field and doing what you do.
So for me, I work with kids and for kids. So that's always a big one for me. And I was born and raised in Columbus, and so I've always wanted to see my community thrive. I've always felt like if you can see her, you can be her kind of thing. I've always had a lot of positive people in my life, mentors that I've looked up to. And I really want to be that for somebody else. I think the actual work that I do is secondary to the impact that I feel like I have and can have on the youth in our community through the work that I do, if that makes sense. In my spare time, I teach puberty and safe sex classes for free. And I also am on the Ohio Adolescent Health Partnership, which just kind of talks about issues among adolescents in Ohio and kind of what they need and what we can do to support them. And then recently, with the agency that I work with some teens, getting their input on different social issues and different programs that we have within the state and around the state and things like that. So that's what drives me, is the actual kids, actually being able to see them, touch them, talk to them, and figure out what it is they need and how I can support them. And I'm very blessed to be in a position that I get paid for what I do, but then I can take that and bring it back into our community and give it away for free. So yeah, that's what keeps me going. And the Ohio Adolescent Health Partnership is really cool. You do not have to be in public health. If you are a parent, if you are an advocate for teens or adolescents and you want to be a part of the partnership, you can be a part of the partnership. We meet quarterly. Sometimes we meet in person. And really, we just... sometimes we have presentations from different, organizations or agencies, but a lot of times we just talk about what's prevalent among youth and how we can support them. And everybody just comes with their ideas, with their funding options and things like that. We have some parent advocates. We have some people who just have a vested interest in the health of teens and adolescents who are there. So yeah, if you want more information, hit me up.
Oh, I definitely will.
Or if you want me to teach safe sex and puberty classes to your kids, I'll do that too.
Yeah, we don't want to know. Don't know about all that, man. You know what I mean? That's another topic for another day.
It is, but the earlier the better, especially puberty. I start at 9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
With boys and girls, start at 9. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
I start at 9 for puberty. I start at 13 for safe sex. So yeah.
Now I want to see this, and that's what I'm saying. We can talk about that some other time though, because that's not what tonight's show is about. So I'm not going to really get into that. But that's crazy. But I do see how in the especially in Columbus, especially, like I said, I gotta keep it to my city, man. I see how, obesity is a huge issue, man. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of overweight people, you know what I mean? And I always wondered if there was anything in as far as because I know a lot of these people, and it's crazy because a lot of these people, you know what I'm saying, or people who, let's just be real, who would be considered poor, you know what I'm saying? People who are considered to be less fortunate or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Living in the industry, living in the hood, people on welfare and stuff like that. And but the obesity rates are high amongst them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? More so than others. So, I think it's important to have this discussion and really start shining a light on the things that contribute to that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's important to talk with people like CAMARA because, working in the field she does, she gets some firsthand experience, on how it's actively going on in real time. You know what I'm talking about? So, I appreciate you coming on here talking about that. Because it's a very important issue. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it come to that, even when I remember when I was a kid, and I want to say we was in the 8th grade, if I'm not mistaken. We was in the 8th grade, like 13, yeah, like 13, yeah, like 13, right? And even back then, y'all, as a young boy, I just felt some type of way about that, like. Like we shouldn't be really learning about this right now. You know what I mean? Like,
and you should, right? And that's why you should, because it shouldn't be an uncomfortable topic. It should be a comfortable topic. Everybody should be comfortable talking about vaginas and penises because we all have them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, from like I remember when I was in the 8th grade, right? And they showed me this video, right? It was very traumatizing. You feel me?
I don't traumatize the participants in my class. The feedback that I got afterward, especially for the girls, from their parents, was that they felt like they were ready to, like, start their periods and like move on. They feel like they had their questions answered, and it eliminated that uncomfortable conversation between them and their parents, and their parents didn't know what to say. And their parents could stay in the class or they could leave, whatever they were comfortable with. If they wanted the conversation just sit there, because some kids don't feel comfortable asking questions and stuff like that. So yeah, so we do good. And I don't like I said, I don't traumatize them. I don't show them any videos. In puberty class, we don't talk about STDs and all that stuff. We just talk about how your body works and stuff like that. We don't get into
wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that as far as from an anatomy biology standpoint. You know what I'm saying? But when they get into like the stuff about the STDs and stuff, that's when I think, you know what I'm saying, it gets to a different situation.
That's a high school thing. And for boys, it's important to talk about masturbation and ejaculation and wet dreams and I'm
gonna say this, right? Even as even as a young boy, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not that, and this is what I say because it's not something that I felt I needed to be put up on game about. You understand? I almost felt like, and for the lack of a better term, it was kind of natural. You know what I mean? But
no, and that's the thing. So many adults don't know how their body works, men and women.
That is a fact, though. I will agree with you on that.
And I think it's important for both sexes to understand how each other's body works. Y'all need to understand how ours work, and we need to understand how yours work, because I'm gonna let you know this right now. We can talk about this another day, for sure. But most men and women do not understand the actual mechanism of what happens to get you pregnant. Like, most people don't even understand like what that even entails. And so we need to teach these kids, because they grow up to be ignorant as adults. And from a healthcare professional standpoint, it drives me nuts. You would be really surprised at the things that I have heard come out of people's mouths that relate to their sexual and reproductive health. It's quite concerning. So I'll leave that there.
No, I mean, shit. I feel you on that. And that's a fact. That's a fact. But I think
for old dude in the comments, nobody is saying that we're teaching these kids about sexual like intercourse or STDs. No, sexual health starts with your reproductive organs and what they look like and what they do and how you treat them and things like that. That's what we talk about. We talk about hygiene. We talk about starting periods. We talk about if you were a boy, then you've had a wet dream in your life. When we talk about that and what that means, or when you wake up in the morning and you have morning wood, or if you go to the bathroom and you
what age? I'm just saying, but what age is this conversation starting though?
This starts at 9 because puberty starts around 8 years old. So even if the sex conversation doesn't need to happen until teenagers, the reproductive health conversation needs to start because kids explore their bodies. They need to know what's going on. They shouldn't be surprised when it happens. We need to be proactive with them instead of reactive with them. So your son should know what a wet dream is before he ever has one.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
Because if it happens to him and he doesn't understand what's going on, that can be.
Yeah, it can be. And let me say this, and this is what I'm gonna say to this though, right, CAMARA, right? I'm gonna say this. What I'm gonna say to this. That's something for me to teach my son. He doesn't be learning at no damn school or anywhere else for that matter.
It is not taught in schools, and that is part of the problem.
It shouldn't be. That's something that parents should exclusively be led to. Now, I understand how it gets where it's at because, like you said earlier, a lot of people haven't been taught this.
But the problem there, Virgil, is that a lot of people in general don't understand how their body works. They don't know even what that is. And so it's not reliable to say that parents are going to teach their kids this because what I know more so, and I know this more than diabetes, is that it's not being taught anywhere. These kids know nothing. They get in high school and then they start having sex and they literally know nothing. They don't know how their bodies work. They don't understand it. And so if we start teaching them at a young age to be comfortable with their sexual organs and to be able to have those conversations and ask those questions, this is why, again, doctors are important. You may not necessarily need to teach that at home, but you could sit down with your primary care physician or a nurse or somebody that you feel comfortable with in that doctor's office and have the conversation too. It doesn't necessarily have to just be a one-on-one thing. Utilize your resources. It's not being taught at school, especially in Ohio. There is no health curriculum in Ohio. So as parents, we do need to step in and teach these kids some things, but it's not happening. So yes, please bring me on and have that conversation a whole nother day because I have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, that's another topic for another day because, you know what I'm saying, at the end, this is what I'm saying, because this can go on to, this stems in from a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's a fine line between education and indoctrination. You understand what I'm saying?
But there's not.
No, hold on.
The fine line there is intention.
CAMARA, let me stop you real quick.
The fine line there is intention. The fine line there is intention.
Let me stop you now. Let me stop you. There's a fine line. This ain't specific to this conversation. This is in totality with everything in reality. There's a fine line between education and indoctrination. Now, with that being said, I can see on some ends how it would be beneficial for children to be informed on certain things concerning their bodies, their biology, and their sexual organs. But I also, on the flip side of that, understand what the body is, more importantly, what it is not, and to be able to effectively, in a how could I say this, in a proper structure and order way, inform our kids about that. There's certain things that just not going to be implemented due to many other, you know what I'm saying, variables. But that's another topic for another day. You know
I don't know that I quite understood what you were saying. However, what I'm saying is,
my nigga King L's in the building.
I think that the line there is intention. If I'm teaching your kid about the scientific mechanism of how their body works, that there is no indoctrination there. If I'm telling your kid the scientific mechanism of how their penis works in terms of semen, vas deferens, their urethra, things like that, but then I'm telling them how to use it, saying, well, once you stick your penis into a vagina and ejaculate into it, that's taking it to indoctrination. If I'm pushing an agenda to get these kids to like have sex earlier or something, that's indoctrination. If I'm simply giving them the scientific definition of what a penis is and how and its internal structure and how it works, that is biology, that is science, that
Exactly.
is that those are facts.
Exactly.
I'm giving no opinion about how you should use it. And also because when I'm teaching these kids, I don't know what their personal cultural background is. So there is no opinion about what their sexuality is. It is, when I teach these classes, it is simply a learning, an educational experience. That's it. That's it.
That's what's up. And I have to give you some pushback there. I have to give you some pushback there on that. You know what I'm saying?
Because there are a lot of things
that's
out
what I'm talking
there.
about. When you just basically said it for me, that's why I say it's a fine line between education and indoctrination.
And again, I think that intention is there.
That's the whole point about it. That's why it's a fine line. That's the sole purpose of why it's a fine line, because it's all about the context and intent.
Yeah. And yeah, L, that's the same thing that Virgil said.
Hey, Camara, you see what my nigga L said? Yeah, I said the same shit. That video,
it does mess you up. And when I do high school, I don't do the video but we go through the pictures and we do the things there. I think for teenagers, there has to be a certain level of shock factor there. Otherwise,
it is, and I agree.
They're not going to take you seriously, because if I just tell you that, herpes looks like a blister that oozes fluid out of it and it hurts, you're gonna be like, yeah, all right. But then if I show it to you, you're gonna be like, ooh, you know what I mean? So I think there's a shock factor that has to happen with teenagers that doesn't need to happen with the little kids, because little kids believe you when you say things. They haven't been like jaded by the world yet. So when you're doing that and you tell them something, they can't go into what you say. They believe you. They're ready to learn. Teenagers, they're a different breed.
Yeah, I just had to give you some pushback, Camara.
But I got you though. And again, and this is why I do what I do, right? Because we need it. If it wasn't a needed service in the community, I wouldn't do it. And I didn't start doing it because I wanted to either. I started doing it because people started reaching out to me because they knew I was a nurse in the community. And I had, when I was a nurse in the community, like literally I worked up on 161, I worked up on Morris Road, I worked in Columbus, and people that I went to high school with or that I knew would see me in these places and be like, I know you, I trust you, you know what I mean? Like, can you talk to my kid about this? And sometimes it would be about them having sex. Sometimes it would just be about their general health or whatever. And they would make appointments because they knew I was there to come and talk to me. And then when I wasn't working there anymore, I actually had taken some time off of being a nurse at all when my mother was sick and I was taking care of her, and kind of around COVID. And that's when I started this, because I started getting more and more people saying, would you do this? Would you talk to my kids? So I kind of just put a filler out there on my social media and said, hey, do you guys actually want this? And since then, I've done a very small class for boys. It was only 5 kids. But for girls, I had like 15 girls, I think. And I've done 2 lunch and learns at a local high school for my safe sex piece, which also talks about consent and healthy relationships. So it wasn't like I just jumped into it and wanted to start talking about, you know, vaginas and penises and STDs with everybody in the world. It was just something that I was comfortable doing. I'm very blunt. I'm very open and honest. And people appreciated it and they asked me to do it. So so no indoctrination here. I would never do that.
Right. I don't think you would either.
Oh,
though,
that's what's up.
I say I gotta give you some pushback though,
yeah.
you know.
And no, they don't show those videos really anymore. There is no health curriculum in the state of Ohio. So it's kind of on a district by district, school by school basis of how they teach sex ed in the schools. I don't really know. Again, I was brought into one of the local high schools as a lunch and learn. The kids opted to come to the class with me. It wasn't mandatory. It's not part of their curriculum. So I don't know. But thank you for saying that. I kind of fell into it and now I love it. So
yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. We got CAMARA Chanel in the building, man, a health advocate for the kids, man. I think it's very important personally that the kids know as much about their anatomy as possible. But I also know in the process of people like CAMARA who are doing it with the wholehearted, pure intentions, there are people who have very nefarious intentions with their agendas that they're pushing with these so-called health policies, with things like kids being pushed to, if they feel like they a boy but they're a little girl, if they feel like they're a girl but they're a little boy, they're pushed to these meds and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's a fine line between education and indoctrination. I want to ask you, CAMARA, your take on as far as the community health issue, if you are at liberty to speak on this, you know what I mean, the views towards these hormone blocking drugs being allowed for these kids when they're like 12 and stuff like that.
So I don't have a really strong professional opinion about that. I try to stay objective as a nurse in that area because my job isn't to have an opinion about people and their life choices. My job is to take care of them when they're in their most vulnerable state, right? And so if a family makes the decision to go that route as a nurse, I would need to put my own personal beliefs aside and make sure that they had what they need in that moment and were able to, get through that journey in the safest and healthiest way possible, regardless of how I feel about it. However, from a scientific standpoint, it is better to start those things earlier because they haven't gone all the way through puberty yet. And it's a lot harder to reverse those things as an adult than it is to block them when they are, going through puberty or before puberty, if the family has decided to make that permanent decision. This is why we also give certain vaccines at different ages because of where the body is, how the organs have developed, what the immune system is, where it's at in the different stages of development. And so from a developmental standpoint, this is why they're doing it at this age. So again, my feelings about it aside, it is what it is. So I support the healthcare industry and I support the nursing aspect of taking care of a person who needs the support. My personal views on it really don't matter.
And let me just say this, man. That was a very, very good response, man. You took some PR training before, man?
I have not.
Huh?
I haven't.
Very, 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 very good answer. I'm lightweight impressed by that answer. See, most people would have took that opportunity to say and get all emotional, but you got to understand that, and I respect this. Some people are professionals and they work in certain fields and they got to watch what they say. This is why I talk to y'all. You got to box cleverly with your language. And I'm glad that CAMARA put on a beautiful display of what I mean when I say box cleverly with your language. right? Most of y'all girls are stupid. I'm gonna just say that. I'm surprised you even just responded like that. You feel me?
Yeah,
That was impressive, man.
Thank you. And I'll follow that with I love people and I love children. I love children, and children are the most vulnerable population anywhere in the world because they have no choice in whether or not they're here, and they almost always have no choice in what their circumstances are. So I am always going to support a child and their journey and what they need from me, from a mentorship or a nursing standpoint, regardless of what they're going through in their personal life. So I'm always going to do that. And like I said, I work with teens, and I work with all kinds of teens. I work with teens who are trans. I work with them who are straight. I work with them who are gay or LGBTQ plus. I work with all different races. So I really do have to put that aside, because if not, I would miss an opportunity to get to know some really amazing kids that I have worked with throughout the years and that I'm working with right now that have a lot to say and are doing the best they can to figure out who they are. And I think that regardless of what we have to say about it, it's fucking brave to stand up and say, this is who I am, even though the world's not going to accept you. So, I don't think that that's something that we should take lightly and judge so harshly on it, because it's really something that I don't understand, that I don't think I'll ever understand. And so I just try to pray myself into a world that's conducive and loving and accepting to my kids. And so I just try to put that energy out into the world.
And you want to know what? I just want to say this too, because, people who know me know my views on this, though, but this is what I want to say, right? Regardless of how you may feel about the LGBTQ LMNOP barbecue committee agenda, pay attention to what she just said, especially when you work in a certain field. And this is another level of professionalism that I think is missing too, especially when you in the type of industry that she is in. You have to be able to put your personal views to the side, man. If you're a nurse, you have to your primary concern is not the political views of the person, not the sexual orientation of the person, but help giving them the best help that you could possibly get them. You know what I mean? Putting when I say put your beliefs to the side, I'm not saying stop believing what you believe in, but you know what I'm saying, be able to believe what you believe, but not confuse it or conflate it with what it is you do.
Right. And here's the other part about that, Virgil, is two parts. Is I'm a Christian person. I'm a believer. I serve in my church. I love my church. International Christian Center, Bush Boulevard. Come see us. It's an awesome place. However, somebody told me this a long time ago, and it kind of stuck with me, that if you're a believer and you're a Christian, you might be the only Bible that somebody gets to read. You might be the only interaction with Christ that they get. And so it's an opportunity for you to show them what that looks like. It also goes for being a person of color. I feel that way about Black men, especially. Represent yourself in a way that if you're the only person that the person that you're talking to is going to encounter, that's a Black person, that's a Black man, that's a Black woman, that's a Black nurse, that's a Black teacher, or whatever. What is it how do you want that to be represented? Because whether you like it or not, you're going to be a representative for that entire population. And so you have to present yourself in a way that's respectable to you, and that's going to leave that person with a positive experience of you. Because why else do you exist in the world? I feel like I should leave people better than what I found them. I feel like my children should definitely leave people with a smile on their face. You should never encounter a child and be like, God, that child got on my nerves. No, they should always leave you feeling positive, feeling energetic, feeling like there's hope in the world. Like leave it a better place than what you found it. There's no reason to be nasty and mean and rude. It doesn't matter what a person is. Now, I mean, if they're like that to you, then there's one thing. But you know, if I encounter a racist even at work, it's like, okay, well, if I react in a way that's, you know, aggressive and violent or whatever, then it just perpetuates their thought process. Why do that? Be kind to them. Give them a smile. Show them that I'm the bomb. I'm educated, and I'm your only option right now. So you're gonna deal with it, right? But there's no reason to be nasty. I just want people to experience me positively.
That's what's up, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, man. You know what I'm talking about? Smash that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page. I'm gonna drop the link, man. Any of y'all want to come up and ask her some questions while we got 20 minutes left in the show? You dig? Y'all sit up here and ask some questions, man. Come on up here, man. I know some of y'all might want to. You know, the link is in the chat. Jack. You know what I'm saying? I just want to say, CAMARA, I appreciate you coming on the show, you know?
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you got anything going on, anything, you chop it up, you know what I'm saying? Tap in, walk with us, you know what I'm saying? We talk about all type of crazy stuff over here. Like tomorrow night is the Friday night wrap up Saturday. We're going to do a part 2 to the A Tale of Things to Come, breaking down the Netflix movie Leave the World Behind.
I haven't watched it yet.
Ooh, you need to watch it.
Okay.
We're gonna get to see. We were already on part 2 because I had to do at least a 3-part series on breaking this movie down, man. Because
that's funny too, because I kind of didn't want to watch it because of the end, but maybe I will, and then I'll come and see what y'all talking about.
So what you mean? How you watched them? You didn't watch the movie, but you saw the end of it?
No, I've just seen people talk about the end. And I watched the beginning, and I thought the music was good. Who like directed it and produced it? Did Ken Peele have something to do with it?
Nah, Barack Michelle Michael and Leslie Obama produced that movie.
Oh, because I thought when I watched the beginning, I saw up until the point where what is it? Mahershala Ali? That's who's in it, right?
Yeah.
When he like got to the house, like I watched it up until, so I really only saw the beginning, and then I stopped watching it because I started to get sleepy, and it seemed like I didn't understand what was happening, so I just turned it off. But I'll go back. I'll go back and watch it and see.
You definitely gotta watch that. So it's a live joint. You hear me?
Did you like it though?
I watched that movie like 5 times already.
Okay, so you liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I loved it. It's a dope movie. It's, like I said, we're gonna do part 2 on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Tell the things to come, man. You hear me?
Do you like horror movies?
No, I mean, not really. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, never mind.
Not really. If it's something that applies to something that I'll be into, then I will. But just if I'm not a guy that's like, oh yeah, I gotta watch the horror movie right now.
I just saw one recently, and I just thought it was an it was like the new Exorcist movie, and I thought it was an interesting take on that whole storyline. So I just want to talk to somebody else who's seen it, because I don't know anybody else who's seen it. But yeah, I don't want to like talk about it if nobody's seen it, because it's different. But it brings in like some different cultural aspects of it, other than just like Catholic exorcism, and I thought it was interesting. But anyway, the folks who don't have sight are scared away by the ending. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
My man King L's in the building. What happening, man?
Hi, friend.
You gotta unmute your mic, L.
All right. Yeah, my bad. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I woke up today, so everything is great, you know? I just wanted to tap in really and just say I really respect you know, what you got going on in the field of helping these kids understand themselves and really being open. And that's the same thing my mom, she did. You know, she did the same thing. She was in the same line of work. She worked for Columbus Public Schools, and she would go from school to school and teach that program, you know, with the baby uh-ohs. If y'all don't know what that is, that was like the program where they had a baby that would cry.
Mm-hmm. I would love to do that. I would love to do that for sure.
Hey, that's why I don't have no kids, y'all, to this day. My mom made me do that. for a week. It was something things. My mom, she was different. She taught me things a little different. You know, Court just told Version them the other day the story when my mom used to give me bags of condoms, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember it was crazy because I ran through a bag and then I had to come back and ask her for another one. But I was open to her and she was open to me in the talks.
And that's funny because my mom was the same way, which is why I feel so comfortable doing it and how I kind of fell into it, because she was always like putting us up on game and making sure that we understood that, like, if we did start having sex or whatever, like, it's not what she wanted for our life by any means, and that's the difference between education and indoctrination, right? I don't want you to have sex. That's not what I'm telling you to do. If I have my choice, I would tell you to never have sex. At this point, just don't do it. But if you are, here is how you need to keep your body safe. Here is how your body works. Here is how to not get pregnant. Here is how to not get an STD. Like when I teach my class, actually, and we talk about different STDs. Every time I bring up a new STD, they catch on by the end. I say, what's the number one way to not get herpes? And they'll say, wear condoms, do this, do that. And I'm like, no, don't have sex. That's the number one way. Don't have sex. What's the number one way to not get syphilis? And then they'll say, no, don't have sex. Like, that's always just don't do it. But if you're going to do it, please, 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 please. Educate, protect yourself.
Yeah, and that was just like you said. And then my pops, he was a little bit more harsh with it, because he was from down south. He was a little different military, kind of hood cat. So he gave me the other side of it. My mom was like the teacher. She was a social worker for most of her life. That's what she got her master's degree in at O State. So she was really tapped into the community. Everything she did was involved in social work. So I really got that vibe. And when she worked in the school, she actually worked in the school for my senior year because we used to do internships at COS 2000 and then at Eastmore Academy. So on Thursdays, my mom would have me roll with her. I remember I went to Independence a couple times. Like, people would think I went to certain schools because I would come with my mom to certain schools, and then she just would sign the forms and let me not go. Shout out to my mom on that one. You know what I mean? But on some real though, I learned a lot from those programs because if I ever was sitting in any class, at the most I would do is at least listen. I'm not saying I was the best student. I did all the work all the time, but I listened and I did great on tests.
Yeah, right.
And it was because I listened, And my mom, she was really, she preached about that sex education a lot. And like I said, my dad, he was the other side, just saying, if you ever bring a baby in the house, and I think the kids have to have that balance. Like, you have the sex education, but my pops always was like, don't bring a baby in the house unless you're able to take care of a baby. And that always stuck in me. And even though I was like financially like a little early stable, I just still always thought about that. Like, it was just an echo in my head. So, I think kids need that balance. Like, yes, you need that sex education, but they also still have to get hit with the raw facts. Like you said, STDs. Like, I always tell people, when people tell me that they more scared of having kids when they out here having sex, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, you should be more, especially if you're dealing with different kind of women that don't be taking care of themselves. Like, bro, you need to be worried about STDs. Like, that's number one shit. In Columbus is really real out here. So,
and syphilis is on the rise again, guys. So, yeah.
But shout out to the work you're doing, though. I really respect that.
Thanks. It's definitely become like a passion, just I don't know, like by accident, I guess. My mom would definitely be proud of that because, like I said, she was like on our asses, like, I mean, she had 2 girls, and so when she was a single mom, so she was like your dad and your mom. She gave us the sex ed piece, and then she gave us the raw piece of it too. So, and like I said, when I'm with the kids, like first of all, I also ask them like what kind of things they've heard on the street, because they be coming up with some wild stuff. and you gotta like talk them through it and like debunk like some of the myths and stuff that they've heard. Y'all would it's wild out there, and you got to have these conversations with your kids. If you got kids, you need to have these conversations with your kids. See what they know, because you would be surprised at how much they don't, even though they have little computers in their pockets and all they have to do is Google something. They just don't do it. It's weird.
Yeah, I got a stepson, so I got two stepsons. One that was in the house I've been with since like the age of 2, so seeing him grow up. Now he's 21. Well, 20 actually. He'd be 21 next year. But when he was going through his high school years, like he would come to me more for that type of information than his parents, because he felt more comfortable asking me about those questions. So, and I used to do mentorship before. Like I've done mentorship programs years back, where I used to go and to the Boys and Girls Club and mentor kids. Like I want to actually get back into it. I got the time now back. I had, but basically having a step kid that went through high school, and I got to talk to him and really have those conversations, and it took me back actually. And it made me just think of like, because how you say your mom passed, like my dad passed. So all I could just do is kind of go off of like some of the things my dad said, but also the shit that's instilled in me and the real world of today, because I know things is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for us to sometimes understand and relate to our kids because we come up in the analog era where we had to figure shit out on our own. Like I said, we had to go to an encyclopedia. These kids got everything at the touch of a fingertip.
Right.
They got cell phones at the age of like 10 years old, sometimes younger than that. They got access to information that we didn't have. Everything, they're way more they're smarter than us. They adapt faster. They see things faster than we did. Our parents tried to hide a lot of things where now you can't even really hide it as a parent because it's right there. So it's things you got to have these conversations a little bit earlier than we even had to have the conversations.
Yeah, because they have so much access to the information and they can stumble upon it and you don't even know.
Right. And you don't want the wrong information, like what you was just talking about. You don't want them to have the wrong information. And as you said,
you gotta stay ahead of it.
Yeah, they saying some shit that's wild. Like, oh no, nothing is like that. It's not like that. This is how it really is. And we got to be there to correct them for that.
Like I literally was in a high school once and a kid told me that they heard that Mountain Dew was a spermicide.
Oh man. TikTok will have them fucked up out here. They better stop doing them TikTok challenges.
Yeah, man, leave that stuff alone, man.
I was like, okay, 2 questions. What do you mean though, a spermicide? Like you mean you drink it or you like pour it? And they're like, no, you drink it. And I'm like, and you think your throat and your penis or your vagina is connected? You think that drinking something means that it okay.
All I'm gonna tell you is I used to drink them red cold joints back when I was like working in the late night shifts, and I'm gonna tell you, all them shit's gonna do is give you more power to go harder. I don't drink no soda no more, but Mountain Dew definitely, yeah.
That's what you think?
Yeah,
the person in chat said it's syphilis on the rise, and in 2022, so I don't see any 2023 data yet, but in 2022, the graphic that I'm looking at says people between the ages of 30 and 39 had about 1,700 cases of syphilis. That's the highest among all age groups.
Man, that's scary.
So it's us, y'all. It's us.
Yeah.
It's our ages. So be safe.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fucking around. It's crazy.
It's real out here.
That's real. That's raw. I gotta say that. That's why I say Uncle Diddy. Yikes.
Yikes. Right.
Yikes is right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I used to work in this. That's why I said we could have this conversation like a whole nother day. Because that's not even what we came here to talk about today. But when I worked in the schools, I mean, I would and in the clinics, I would get high school kids and they would test positive for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and trichomoniasis all at the same time. We used to call it the trifecta.
Dang, not the trifecta.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. The trifecta is crazy.
Gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomonas. Yep.
Not the truth. So we're gonna get up out of here, man. Like I said, Camara, man, I appreciate you coming on. King Els, man, you want to say something in the closing out?
Nah, man. Hey, y'all continue to keep doing great work out here. You know, salute to CAMARA for coming on, and you know, like I said, I just tapped in, so I came in a little late, but you know, salute to what I got to hear and the work you do, and you know, that's really big. You know, these kids need more guidance out here, and you know, it's nothing like leaders in the community that, you know, the front lines. I always talk about the front lines, and they're the most important because they're out here interacting with people more than anybody.
Right.
So anybody in those type of industries that's on the front lines, you know, major salute to them. I really respect them with all my heart, and you know, keep doing what you're doing. You know.
Already, man. You already know me and my brother King Els getting straight to it. Tomorrow night, E&E Fridays. You did Friday night wrap up. You already know what it is. Same time, same place. Tap in, walk with us. All right, then, my brother King Els.
Hey, I might be a little late tomorrow.
Here you go, man. This nigga.
I got shopping to do. You know, my ass is fully
Why y'all
controlled.
always wait? Y'all celebrate these stupid ass holidays and y'all wait till the last day to go shopping, man.
Nigga, I thought I had everything, and then I just forgot one thing. And you know, I'm normally done in Black Friday, but I forgot one thing, and I gotta go tomorrow, and I'm probably going to dinner. So that's really the real reason. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
tomorrow, man.
yeah. I love y'all. Get back to doing what y'all do, man. YouTubers, man. I love what you're doing too, man. I always say I salute what you're doing out here. You're bringing people and you're giving them a platform to speak on and really showing people and enlightening people with the way that you do what you do. So salute to you too, man. You've been going so hard these last 2 years, man. You already know the end of the year is wrapping up, and we got to make sure we celebrate each other. If I don't get to talk to none of y'all that's in the chat, happy holidays to you and your family. You know, live it up. And you already know, peace, love, and blessings, as I always say. Love y'all, man.
You already know, Els, man. Love you too, bro.
Thanks.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. CAMARA, man, it's a blessing. You feel it's a privilege and honor to have you on the show, man. Let's chop it up. You know what I'm saying? You're welcome to come back anytime you want to. You know what I'm saying? You say you'll do colorful. I'm gonna dig you crazy, man.
Yeah. And you can also bring me on when we're not talking about something professional, and I can give you my true opinion about something.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. You can tap in, listen. You can tap in, listen, man. You go on your phone, subscribe to the page, tap in with us. You can
when I don't feel like I have to be buttoned up.
You said buttoned up.
Yeah, and give my politically correct answers when I can.
Nah, we don't do political correctness over here at Real Talk. We totally politically incorrect.
I know. So okay, I'll come back tomorrow and get in your ass.
Yeah. We're having a Friday night wrap up, and we're gonna be discussing this week's trending topics, current events, all while we listen to classic, current, and some new and exclusive E&E music. You did. Everybody's welcome. Bring your blunts, bring your, you know what I'm saying, bring your glass of vino, your shots, whatever you got, and we're gonna get straight to it, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Tell them how they can get in contact with you, man, if they want to know any information about how they could attend one of your classes for the youngest to put them up on the game about their biology and all of that. Type it in the comment section, you know, whatever contact information.
So on CAMARA, on Facebook, you can find me at CAMARA Chanel. On
just type it all in the comment section.
Yeah, I got you. If I remember what my yeah, there we go.
I know, man. Like I said, 2024, man, we're gonna be having more shows. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be having more interviews. We're gonna be bringing more of the ladies on again, like how I was heavy. You know what I'm talking about? Because like my brother Uncle D said, man, we be not only one, but we also need the women's perspective on some things. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? And it's a beautiful thing, man. We you know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, we blaze and we roast and we joke, man. But we love the ladies over here at Real Talk. Don't ever get it twisted, man. You know what I'm saying? But we absolutely love the ladies. We love y'all's input. which is Stinking Asses, and we just implore with y'all to come tap in and walk with us. You know what I'm saying? It's a safe place over here at Real Talk. We ain't going to sit up there and disrespect or nothing like that unless you come with that bullshit, and we definitely going to correct and chastise and check. That's a fact. Hold on, let me come up because some people be getting this messed up. Hey, we're going to definitely check your ass. You hear me? Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you coming on the show. You know what I'm talking about? Like I said, you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want to. You know what I'm saying? We go in every single day over here. You know, so I got a gang of pre-recorders I'm about to release. That's what I'm gonna be working on tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing some editing. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, it's a beautiful thing though. So like I said, I appreciate you coming on the show. You're more than welcome to come back, and I hope you have a good evening.
I will. You too. Thanks again.
All right, you
Bye,
already know.
y'all.
All right. So yeah, man, you already know what it is, man. We're gonna always have the beautiful ladies on the show come over here, chop it up about real stuff, real talk. You already so I mean, we ain't gonna play no games. You understand me? Shouts out to CAMARA for coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? Chopping up game, bestowing the knowledge that she possessed upon us in the field. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. Obesity, specifically childhood obesity, is a real important issue. I think it's something that we need to really talk about and discuss more often. And we need to really take a look at what contributes to it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I appreciate everybody coming out. You know what I'm talking about? Tapping in and walking with us. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all right here with me. You understand me? And I appreciate that. You did. And as y'all know, we're going to always leave with some E&E. You know what I'm talking about? Ladies Night, of course, so it's only right that I play this song. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, walk with us, man. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. Share on your social engineering. That's it. Yeah, man. Y'all already know this. Tap in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all know what it is, man. We're going to get straight to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. And we're going to do it like we used to. E&E every day, all day, no days off. Shout out to my brother King L. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Uncle Diggity, Dan Patrick, XL Pro. You know what I'm talking about, man. Everybody in the chat room tonight. You know what I'm talking about. My man, the former pretty boy, stopped through. You did. You know what I'm talking about? Even shout out to Pete Peterson with his hating ass. You feel me? My man Hakeem Andrews came through. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to that brother. You know what I'm saying? Y'all brothers be easy, man. Riding out to some E&E, man. Let's go.
What up? You busy? I don't even care.
Oh my God, Marcus.
You want to shoot through. Yeah. Coming right now.
You got me feeling for you right now. Roll the gas, we can blow it, baby, right now. Drink a little, get you lit, see you hype now. Ain't talking later, shit, I really want you right now. Hit the bedroom, then we turn the lights down. Legs up, got them doing suicides now. Looking on you, got the sheets all wet now. Let's get it in, love, I'm talking about right now. Right now, it's me and you, chilling out by the pool, living our best lives, we blowing the best fruit. Sweet is the best fruit, for starters, you make a nigga blush. We on a journey, I promise you, we ain't gotta rush. Skin soft as the best silk, I gotta touch every part of your body before I tear it up. After we flood the sheets, we gotta paddle up. It be that arch in your back that have a nigga stuck. Back shots, I'm giving you on the regular. Non-stop flights, we doing all the etc. You been so fine, I figure I gotta marry ya. Hair be the best, I'm probably gonna have the calendar. Count the paper while we rolling up. Get the bread right, shit, I'm trying to live it up. Glance over just so I can see your bright smile. Let's get it in, shit, I'm talking about right now. Yeah, you got me feeling for you right now. Roll the gas, we can blow it, baby, right now. Drink a little, get you lit, see you hype now. Ain't talking later, shit, I really want you right now. Hit the bedroom, then we turn the lights down. Legs up, got them doing suicides now. Looking on you, got the sheets all wet now. Let's get it in, love, I'm talking about right now.
Right now, put your boy shit soon as she leave the house. Still looking for the score like a kill count. Full different shit. Hope you all into this. Yep. Sick, have you twisted, all bitten shit. Sick. Yeah, going hard, none of that timid shit. Nope. Last time she said harder, I did it. Talking right down, pipe down, lights down. Love see you squeeze the sheets, feel a bite down. Ain't it nice how when you lie down, put your legs up from the side down. Put you on top, help you drive down. Love how you saddled it, watch you climb down. Now I'm in deep, watch you clutch sheets. Love when you exhale like a spreadsheet. Wanna take some good notes, probably write it down. She wants some nauseous. Right now.
You got me feeling for you right now. Roll the gas, we can blow it, baby, right now. Drink a little, get you lit, see you hype now.
True.
Ain't talking later shit, I really want you right now. Hit the bedroom, then we turn the lights down. Legs up, got them doing suicides now. Looking on you, got the sheets all wet now. Let's get it in, love, I'm talking about right now.
PK, pick a pussy, probably wetter than Pacific. Twisted like a ghetto bird, trying to say Pacific. Like excellence, Bruce, see right how I kick it. If I ask, scrape some leather seeds, best believe she with it. This is King Talk, tell them niggas catch up. Outfield niggas just say I don't rest up. Bless her. Bae says she want tequila liquor. Now we extra ingredients, the liquor at the party scene. Dope, headed home on the E-way, connect us in HS. Express how the scene play, getting top down on the E-way with the top down. King getting rolled while he drove, now we hot now. Home plate mode, I ain't even hit the driveway. Word to Usher, King always did it my way. Said I owed a dick, so I got some debts to pay. She will role play right now, just press play.
You got me feeling for you right now. Roll the gas, we can blow it, baby, right now. Drink a little, get you lit, see you hype now. Ain't talking later shit, I really want you right now. Hit the bedroom, then we turn the lights down. Legs up, got them doing suicides now. Looking on you, got the sheets all wet now. Let's get it in, love, I'm talking about right now.